yourself. It's enough. It's a lot. Don't ever be anything less than you. You. It might make someone comfortable. It doesn't matter. You, my love, have a light, a spark, a shine. Share it with the world. Call me, okay? Love, Mom.
Tomorrow, our exclusive with Kelly Rowland talking about her new children's book and her message to you diehard Destiny's Child fans.
You would deserve a surprise.
Stop teasing us, y'all. Meanwhile, it's
happening now.
It's being called an unprecedented breach of the Supreme Court, a leak of a draft opinion that could overturn Roe versus Wade. We'll talk about the possible fallout from this coming up.
The San Antonio Spurs getting a preliminary go-ahead to play more of their home games away from home. But it's not as many as the team was hoping for. We'll give you the details coming up.
And I'm watching the radar closely for some thunderstorm development this afternoon, especially in a particular spot of our area. We'll get into that and weekend heat. The News at 5 starts right now.
We start with the news that's rocking the nation. An unprecedented leak from inside the nation's highest court, a draft opinion that could overturn Roe v. Wade.
While it isn't the final ruling, which is expected later this summer, it's raising questions about potential fallout. Erica Hernandez explains.
It's what some are calling a huge disaster for the United States Supreme Court.
Nothing about this looks good in terms of the integrity of the court itself.
Late Monday evening, the first draft of the opinion that would overturn Roe versus Wade was published by Politico. UTSA Associate Professor of Political Science Matt Brogdon says a breach of this kind is something that's never been seen before.
It has occasionally been the case that the public has become aware of, say, a vote in the court prior to an opinion coming out. But an actual draft opinion from the court's majority prior to the court's official announcement of the decision is completely unprecedented.
Trinity University political science professor David Crockett thinks there could become a lack of trust within the Supreme Court itself.
You will have a buildup of lack of trust because no one's going to know who they can, who's the liar, who's the one who leaked this. So is it a clerk? Is it a Supreme Court justice?
Professor Brogdon potentially sees this as an opportunity for the Supreme Court.
In a way, it's a public opportunity to learn about the court and the way that it functions.
While the draft is not final and nothing legally has been overturned, the final opinion expected this summer could still be different.
Obviously, the precise language could change in the next few drafts, and it's certainly possible that justices will change their mind between now and then.
Chief Justice John Roberts issued a statement earlier today saying that while the leaked draft was authentic, it did not represent a final decision by the court. He also stated that he has ordered the marshal of the court to launch an investigation into the source of the leak. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
With all the coverage of the Supreme Court leak and what happens if Roe v. Wade is actually overturned, you've probably heard talk of trigger laws. Texas actually has one in place. A total of 13 states have trigger laws on the books. They spell out what happens next automatically should the high court officially overturn Roe versus Wade. So what are these? How do they work? Myra Arthur has this KSAT Explains coming up during our 6 o'clock news.
Turning now to the Spurs, it's official. Bexar County officials are giving the Silver and Black a preliminary okay to play more home games, but away from home.
And it's not everything the Spurs wanted. The Spurs wanted to play 4 of those games outside the AT&T Center for the next 2 seasons. Commissioners not prepared to go that far. Garrett Berger tells us commissioners also had some concerns.
2 seasons, each with 4 home games not at home in the AT&T Center. It's a request that Spurs Sports and Entertainment has painted as a way to build the regional fan base from Mexico to Austin.
It would allow us to participate as a home team in Mexico City. It would allow us to participate as a home team at the Alamodome. This coming year is our 50th anniversary.
But more controversially, for fans in San Antonio anyway, the Spurs plan includes 2 games each season in Austin, likely at the brand new Moody Center on the UT campus, rekindling fans' fears of the Spurs permanently moving up I-35.
The very first thing that they said is that the organization is testing the waters.
Commissioners had sharp questions about the team's intentions. looking for reassurance on the Spurs' future in San Antonio.
As the chief legal officer and general counsel of all our companies, our commitment is we are staying in San Antonio.
Though Judge Nelson Wolff didn't exactly view that as binding.
He has no authority it's the ownership that decides whether they're going to stay or not.
Ultimately, commissioners approved just one season with the extra permitted home away from home games, but on a split vote of 3-2.
That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. It shows you that there's a divided opinion in this community as to the intention of the Spurs, that there's a lot of concern about just what the heck you're doing.
Commissioners will vote again in 2 weeks on the exact language. Judge Wolff saying Spurs ownership ought to be there.
Now, the judge saying that 2 weeks before they have a final vote, the vote on whether to get final approval. The judge saying that'll give opportunity for fans to make their opinions heard, as well as other officials who may not have weighed in yet. Live at the AT&T Center, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Garrett. New at 5, a former Live Oak police sergeant now facing charges 2 months after he resigned from his post. Jonathan Gann was arrested last week on 2 separate charges. The first charge was hindering apprehension. That one stems back to December when Gann instructed a woman he was having an affair with to cancel her robbery call to Live Oak PD because she had an active warrant. Gann then told responding officers not to make contact with the woman. The second charge is from an incident last month when Gann's ex-wife told investigators that he had placed an Apple AirTag device in her trunk to track her as she was moving out. Gann is currently out on bond.
A high school teacher who resigned last month now being investigated for sexual assault. Here's what we know at this hour. According to Schertz police, the teacher, who we are not naming because he hasn't been formally charged, used to work at Clemens High School. He was reported for sexual assault on February 25th, placed on administrative leave 3 days later. Then on April 14th, he resigned. He was placed on administrative leave by the Schertz-Cibolo Universal City Independent School District on February 28th. He resigned April 14th. Details about the victim have not been released, so it's not clear if they are a student at the school.
We now have an update on a shooting involving an off-duty Bexar County officer last week. That suspect in the case identified now as Mallory Tristan. Her photo was taken the night that Tristan reportedly took the deputy's gun and fired it inside a home on Autumn Pass. That's on the far west side. One bullet went through a neighbor's home, but luckily no one was hit. Tristan now faces assault charges and a charge for firing the gun in a heavily populated place.
Meantime, we're still working to learn the name of a 31-year-old man who was fatally shot overnight in the 11,700 block of Loop 107 in southeast Bexar County. Bexar County deputies found the man in a bedroom. He'd been shot several times and died on the way to the hospital. At last check, deputies were questioning a woman who was at the home at the time. They're still trying to determine a motive and who the suspect may be.
San Antonio police looking for the person who shot and killed a man at a convenience store last night. We're also trying to learn that man's name. It happened around 10 o'clock last night on 24th Street and West Commerce. A witness says there were 2 men talking outside of the store when shots were fired. One man was hit in the leg and the torso. He died at a hospital. The suspect reportedly ran off after that shooting.
Checking traffic at this hour at 5:06 on your Tuesday, and we can see that things are moving. This is I-35 at Alamo. We're looking at the upper deck here. You can see it's kind of slow going, but things are moving. No major traffic tie-ups to tell you about at this hour.
If you think it's warm out there right now, it's only going to get hotter. Triple-digit temperatures in the forecast for the weekend in ERCOT, the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, now expecting a higher demand for power. So in an effort to prepare for the increase, the council says it has asked power plants across the region to postpone their planned outages and to return from outages in progress to ensure the Texans stay with power over the weekend. The council has been scrutinized since the February freeze last year that left millions of Texans in the dark. You can also help save on your energy bill during high demand days like the ones that are coming by setting the thermostat 2 to 3 degrees higher between the hours of 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. and then setting them higher when no one's home. You can shut off your pool pumps between those hours as well, unplug non-essential lights and appliances, and avoid using ovens and washing machines during the peak hours. You can find all of these tips and more at KSAT.com. And we're keeping a close eye on all of that with Adam Caskey, because we were at 99, maybe 100. Now we're definitely in the triple digits.
It looks like we'll hit 100 degrees Saturday and Sunday for the high temperature, briefly in the afternoon. Bottom line, we're cranking up the heat, and it would be earlier than average to have our first 100-degree day. You'll have to excuse the little error within our TVs here, but you'll see upper 80s tomorrow and Thursday. By Friday, mid-90s, and then right near the century mark. That's record-breaking territory by Saturday afternoon. The record high is 101. All right, today we topped out at 89 degrees, the average high 83. And you look across the area, wide range of temperatures, some 70s in the hill country. That's where we still have the low clouds in place. We're on the lookout for some thunderstorms this evening in a particular part of our area. We'll talk about that, our other storm chances as well in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. We want to bring you the latest in the war in Ukraine. It's believed Russian President Vladimir Putin could formally declare war at the start of next week.
That move would allow him to fully mobilize Russia's reserve forces as efforts to take territory in the east and south continue to falter and manpower dwindles. As ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
Russian forces once again targeting the Azovstal steel plant in Mariupol. At least 2 civilians killed overnight, more than 200 still trapped. Evacuation efforts are underway, more than 100 taken to safety as the bombardment continues. This evacuee saying every night we went to sleep and thought about whether we would survive.
Everything is very fragile. Things can fall apart at any given moment.
And now a U.S. official warns Russia may attempt to annex 2 Russian-backed territories in Ukraine by mid-May, using false referendum votes to justify their claims.
Fabricated votes will not be considered legitimate, nor will any attempts to annex additional Ukrainian territory.
Civilian areas getting hit across southern and eastern Ukraine. Firefighters trying to control these flames at a park in Kharkiv after Russian shelling. Residents there urged to take shelter underground and stay there. In Odessa, a missile strike on a dormitory reportedly killing a teenage boy and injuring a teenage girl. Though Ukrainian forces are putting up a strong fight, President Biden asking Congress to approve more security assistance for Ukraine.
This fight is not going to be cheap. But caving to aggression would even be more costly. We either back the Ukrainian people as they defend their country, or we stand by as Russia continues its atrocities and aggression.
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
It's still ahead on the news at 5. We're going to talk money. Gas prices still high with summer approaching. They probably won't go down anytime soon, but is it enough to switch to a hybrid vehicle? We're going to take a look at why you might consider it next.
I'm Myra Arthur here in the KSAT 12 newsroom. You've heard about this strange outbreak of hepatitis in children all across the world. Well, now doctors are looking more closely at cases right here in San Antonio. Tonight at 6, our Courtney Freeman speaks with a family of a little girl recently diagnosed with hepatitis, how she's doing, and why her parents say it's important to educate other parents, not instill fear here. Plus, the shelves at the San Antonio Food Bank are starting to collect dust with fewer donations coming in now. Alicia Barrera goes inside the food bank's warehouse and shares their latest initiative to serve those facing food insecurity in South Texas. And a $1 billion bond on the ballot for Northside ISD taxpayers. RJ Marquez breaking down what's in this bond, how it will affect existing schools in the district. And he's also speaking with the NISD superintendent about some of the questions voters have had before they've headed out to the polls. Those stories and more tonight on the news at 6.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Myra. Well, new at 5, is it time for a hybrid? Gas prices still way up there, averaging $3.72 a gallon. So if you're in the market to buy a new car, fuel economy may be a big priority. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz shows you how hybrids can be worth the higher sticker price.
Gas prices remain pumped up, so no surprise interest in hybrid vehicles is revved up. Upfront costs are often higher than the gas-only versions, so do they save you money over the long haul?
Hybrids have a gasoline-powered engine and a battery-powered electric motor that work together to optimize efficiency. We compared hybrid and non-hybrid versions of some popular vehicles, and found that fuel savings could outweigh the upfront purchase price of some hybrid models.
They found using a gas price of $4 a gallon and driving 12,000 miles a year, the Toyota RAV4 hybrid will pay off its cost in 4 years, the Honda Accord hybrid in 3, the Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid in only 2. And should gas soar to $5 a gallon, the Santa Fe's payback period could drop to 1 year. Beyond fuel economy, some hybrids even performed better.
For example, the Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid rides better, quieter, and shifts smoother than the gas-only Santa Fe. And it's quicker in our acceleration tests, too.
If a new hybrid isn't in your budget, consider used.
When buying a used car, we say the sweet spot is to look for a well-maintained vehicle that's 5 years old. Not only is it going to cost less than a new vehicle, but it was also designed and built recently enough where you get modern safety and convenience features.
Availability is still an issue, so new or used, be prepared to wait. If a hybrid isn't your thing, check out our website. We have Consumer Reports lists of cars that are a little easier on your gas dollars. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Looking outside with live cam, a couple of fluffy clouds out there, but we might get some more rain somewhere in our viewing audience.
Well, and that's right, Dan. You're talking about what we've been watching on the radar screen. We've been looking for development, particularly off to the west this afternoon and into the evening. So some Rio Grande storms possible this evening and tonight, and then a few other storm chances for the rest of us in the 7-day forecast. And we'll get into the futurecast in a moment. And then we talked about it earlier. Looks like we'll get up near 100 degrees this upcoming weekend, so some record challenging heat on the way. All right, let's get to the radar, and we're watching closely the mountains in Mexico. That's where we're getting the terrain circulations and some lift to generate these thunderstorms, a little bit of lightning associated with them now. There are some indications that they could actually make it eastward to some of our border communities from Del Rio to Quemado to Eagle Pass, and maybe a county or two further closer to San Antonio, further east. But it does look like this is really struggling to hold together. Nonetheless, should some of those storms make their way to the Rio Grande, which I think is pretty likely, then there is the chance for some severe weather associated with that as well. So if they make it, it could very well be strong to severe. Here's the big picture, though. Frontal boundary off to the north of us. It's a stalled boundary. It was just slowly crawling southward. Now it has stalled out. And along that boundary, just northwest of Austin, we have a few showers and thunderstorms developing. And you can see actually the radar signature and on the satellite imagery here, especially this next time we loop it, you see this little line that develops. That's the actual frontal boundary as it's pushing southward, and now it's stalling out. So here's our futurecast. Again, some of those thunderstorms through sunset, closer to the Rio Grande, even toward 10, 11 p.m. Can't rule out a little bit of activity along and especially west of the Rio Grande, but it's unlikely to make it much farther to the east. And then just low clouds again to start the day tomorrow. A few spritzes and sprinkles in the morning, and then even in the midday we'll have a few drips and drops falling. Otherwise, a little bit of sunshine tomorrow afternoon, kind of like what we had today, similar trend. And we get into tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, and it looks like we'll have a few pop-up showers possible here and there. Notice the futurecast is drawing some overnight showers. We'll have some better ingredients in place, but don't pay very close attention to the exact location, just the mere intensity and fact that it's popping up a few of them here. And then we get into Thursday afternoon and evening, and a cold front drops in, and that could then kickstart some strong to severe thunderstorms possible as we get into Thursday afternoon. So look at those storm chances, still pretty slim. I mean, we're talking Wednesday night, 20%, Thursday, 30%, Thursday night down to 20%, and then dry and sunny Friday through the weekend. So let's talk temperatures. 88 degrees right now, dew point of 70. We're feeling the mugginess. There's that boundary, and you see behind it, look at temperatures, 60s, Abilene 68, Dallas 62, 60 in Oklahoma City, dew points in the 40s there. That front's not going to make it here. It's not going to have an impact on our temperatures. Right now, we're pushing 90 degrees from 88 in town to 91 in Pleasanton and Cotulla, 81 in Kerrville. Where the clouds have stuck around longer in the hill country, we're only closer to 80 degrees. It's, of course, the natural shade. And tomorrow morning, we'll start the day in the 70s, low to mid 70s by the afternoon. Very similar, right up near 90 degrees for the high temperature. And we'll have the patchy drizzle and a few sprinkles in the morning, and then a little bit of sunshine into the afternoon. And get ready for that weekend heat right near 100. A happy Mother's Day.
Wow. A hot Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Some shade. The perfect Mother's Day gift.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of shade, the Suns.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Phoenix.
Well, they look at the Suns of old during their regular season.
Yeah.
You know, they've been struggling a lot in the playoffs due to injuries somewhat. Also, the New Orleans Pelicans had something to do with that, but not last night. We'll show you what happened in Game 1 of their Western Conference semifinal series. And Brittany Griner is now being called wrongfully detained. What does that mean to her coming up? Now that former Spurs assistant coach James Borrego has been fired as the head coach of the Charlotte Hornets, the team is considering hiring former Nuggets, Suns, Knicks, Lakers, and Rockets head coach Mike D'Antoni. If so, it would signal a reunion with former Lakers, now Hornets general manager Mitch Kupchak. But D'Antoni is not the only candidate for the job, so are 3 other assistant coaches. But D'Antoni's resume is lengthy. He's a 2-time NBA Coach of the Year, overall record of 672 wins, 527 losses for a winning percentage of 56%, spending this past season as a consultant for the New Orleans Pelicans. The Western Conference semifinal series between the Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns got underway last night in the Valley of the Sun. That's where Phoenix finally looked like the team that ran through the regular season with a franchise record 64 wins. And the victory came despite Luka Doncic's ridiculous 45 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. Still, the Suns led from wire to wire behind DeAndre Ayton's 25 points, just in front of Devin Booker's 23. But even with all that firepower, the Mavs still made it interesting down the stretch by outscoring the Suns 35-25 in the fourth quarter, including the three-pointer from Doncic to cut the lead to 5. But the Suns hang on for the 121-114 victory. Now they use that poor fourth-quarter performance as motivation going forward.
We can't have those kinds of quarters against a team like that and give up a 35. So, you know, if you're going to have a 25, you only want to give up a 25 or 26, you know, and that was the goal for me going into the fourth was let's win the fourth, and we didn't. A lot of it was missed shots, but we didn't handle the switches like we have been when teams have done that to us.
The shorthanded Philadelphia 76ers got their Eastern Conference semifinal series underway against the Heat in Miami, but they had to do it without Joel Embiid, who's still nursing in Philly right now an orbital fracture and concussion he picked up in the series-clinching win against Toronto. Is not expected to play in Game 2, and the Heat took full advantage, especially a rejuvenated Tyler Hero. Hero got to the arena long before tip-off to work on a shot after battling a respiratory bug, and it worked. He came out on fire, scoring 25 points, his second most in his playoff career. It included 4 out of 6 from three-point range. Bam Adebayo, 24 points and 12 rebounds as the Heat outscored the Sixers 56-41 in the second half for the Game 1 106-92 victory. Former Baylor Bear, now WNBA star Brittany Griner is now considered wrongfully detained by the U.S. government, which means the White House will no longer wait for her case to play out through the Russian legal system. Negotiations will begin immediately to return her to the U.S. Remember, back in February, she's arrested for allegedly bringing in vape laced with hashish oil. That's according to the Russians. The reason why she's in Russia, that's where they get paid more to play basketball.
Right. Mm-hmm. Becky Hammond played there.
Hammond
There's a lot of stars have played there.
You got it.
Thanks, Greg.
We'll be right back. Thanks so much for watching the News at 5 with us.
World News is up next. We'll see you back here at 6. And as we leave tonight, beautiful shot of downtown and the Tower Life building.
Have a good night.